So when you focus yourself on the value that you bring, rather the disadvantages you might have or think that you're missing, you appear in front of people as something valuable and not something that's it's not experienced. So this is the most advice I'm giving today to people that are starting their careers. Focus on the value you bring and not the thing that you don't have.
I wish I heard Lisa's advice when I started my career over 20 years ago. And as women, and I hear so many women I talk to, we think we need to be more confident. And before we make the next step and we ask ourselves a lot of questions, we challenge ourselves all the time. Am I really ready? And Lisa is kind of debunking that myth and kind of saying, what if confidence come after you actually make an impact? Welcome to From a Woman to a Leader. My name is Limor Bergman, a former director of engineering, and I turn into executive coach for women in tech. And if you have ever felt stuck, overlooked, or like you're doing everything right but still not getting the recognition you deserve, this podcast is for you. Each episode brings real stories and practical strategies from women who have built bold, impactful careers on their own terms. If you want to grow your confidence, influence, and leadership without pretending to be someone you're not, hit subscribe and join me on Substack so you never miss an episode. Your next level starts here. And in the episode, I sit down with Lisa Zaythik. She is the founding partner and executive chief of staff at AppsFlyer. And we recorded that episode at the AppsFlyer offices. And Lisa moved quite a bit. She moved across different functions. She led massive growth and taken on roles she didn't feel ready for and take them anyway. And we talk about how to know when it's time to grow, how to lead without being loud, and how to stop chasing confidence and start creating impact. So if you're navigating any change right now, or maybe you're questioning what is your next step, I think this conversation with Lisa really help you. So stay with us and let's dive into career transitions. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Hi everyone, we are recording in the AppsFlyer beautiful offices in Herzliya, and I'm so happy to have Lisa here. Hi Lisa, how are you?
Hi, Limor.
It's really a pleasure to be here. And I'll start maybe with a little bit of a personal question. I know that you're a mother of 4, same as I am. And how does your morning look like as a mother of 4 and you're an executive?
Well, not all mornings are the same, okay? And my morning looked like waking up and trying to picture a perfect morning, but then reality happens. So I have 4 kids under 10. So 3 of them are in elementary school. So it's all the organization in the morning. And I have a baby. She's 3 years old.
Wow.
And, I feel grateful. Even the non-perfect moments we experience as parents, as moms, we need to be grateful for the blessing that we have waking up and standing up on our own feet and doing the simple and the most obvious things by ourselves. I feel grateful.
Likewise, I think having 4 kids is perfect.
Yeah, me too. 2 girls and 2 boys.
Like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same.
High five.
High five. Yeah. And, I know that you have moved a lot, and we're going to talk today about transitions and about making career transitions. So you have moved so you come from a marketing background, and you moved from marketing to operations to people, and now leading the CEO office. So what was the first transition that truly challenge your confidence?
I think I will speak about the moment that many people experience, the moment you graduate from university and you feel that you made it, you finish your academic studies and you're ready and nobody wants to hire you. So I think back then, and I'm spending a lot of time speaking with today with the parents to their kids that are graduating. We're getting older, so our friends now have kids that are looking for a job, or speaking with a young population about how to find job, how to find the right direction. And for me, it was a moment that I knew that I want to work in the technology, but I didn't know how to get there. Also, being an immigrant in Israel, when I graduated, I was quite young. I started my academic studies when I was 18, so I graduated like 23. And I was young, non-experienced, and no network or connection in the Israel job market. It was really tough sending CVs and trying to find your way and not knowing where to take it. So my first job was in a telecom company, Cellcom, on the customer service. But very fast, I found myself with an opportunity to join a startup. I met some friends that work at Pioneer. Back then, it was a really small startup. I was an employee 25.
Wow.
And it sounded exciting to join something new, also building a product solution in the payments world. And I joined as a business development for a CIS market, Russian-speaking market. I think it was like the most aha moment for me to join a startup, technology, working in a high-tech environment. And the moment I joined the startup, I knew that everyone around me has more experience, more knowledge. They know English better than me, but I never focused on the things that I don't know or what are disadvantages I have, and try to shift into what value I can bring. So when you think about people ask you to join them, so they know that you have some value that adds to this place. So when you focus yourself on the value that you bring, rather the disadvantages you might have or think that you're missing, you appear in front of people as something valuable and not something that it's not experienced. So this is the most advice I'm giving today to people that are starting their careers. Focus on the value you bring and not the thing that you don't have.
Yeah. And I want to emphasize to our listeners today, this is pure gold. Focus on the value that you bring, not, because a lot of women kind of think about, oh, I don't have this, like you said. Oh, maybe English is not my best language as others. I'm not this. Focus on what you are. And I have a follow-up question on that. How do you know what is your value?
I knew that I'm the only Russian-speaking person in the room, and this is the market that they wanted to develop. So to some extent, they were dependent on my abilities to bring new clients and partners. And I knew that this is my advantage. This is why they brought me here. So I might not know other things that they know, but there's definitely value that I generate. And it follows all the way. Even like if I take it to the personal life, there will be always a perfect parenthood or mothers on Instagram that make perfect cakes for their kids, which I'm not good in making perfect cakes, but I can do a perfect mess with glue and paper and being creative with my kids, doing some do-it-yourself stuff. So there's always something that's special to you, to your personality, that you can do. And in the world, there will be many other things that are better than you.
By the way, I don't believe in being perfect. There is no such thing. And I keep saying that to my kids. Don't strive to be perfect. Strive to be the best version of yourself. Always improve. Perfectionism is like so detrimental, especially for women.
Absolutely.
So we never want to be perfect.
We strive to be perfect. It exists. We cannot ignore it. But we should also understand that the reality is much more complex than being perfect. You can find the thing that you want to improve. So you strive to some new level of commitment, competency, but it's never perfect.
Definitely. And since you moved quite a bit, I want to ask you about when you enter a new role, right? You made a transition from different functions. How do you kind of transition from, oh my God, there's so much I don't know, to I can do this and this is how I'm going to step up to the new role?
I think curiosity and courage follow me through my entire life journey. And I think also, what is the right timing to do this move? So many female I speak about, like advising them in their career, they ask me, what is the right timing? Like, I'm 5 years in this role, I'm 7 years in the role, I'm 10 years in this company. When do I know when is the right time to move? For me, the right time to move is when you feel too comfortable in what you're doing and you feel curious about other things. Now, these other things can be non-defined. You're just curious about something, or you feel this butterflies in your stomach that you want to do something else. You yet know what it is. And I think curiosity, this is something that is right thing for me to discover something new. When I see other things that I'm curious about and I want to explore them. And you cannot be knowledgeable in something that you feel curious about. Because there's curiosity, there's some element of unknown. You want to know something more, you're curious about it. So for me, it's exploring new things.
For sure. And definitely, I mean, I agree that when you feel like very comfortable, it means you may not be growing. And that's time probably to look for a new challenge. Absolutely agree with you. And do you recall, Lisa, a moment in a new role where you felt completely out of your depth? Like you felt very uncomfortable, like, oh my God, it is so overwhelming. And what did you do next?
Yes, it is. I remember when we were in a hyper growth, like company tripling itself a year. So we start year as 100% and we finish as a 300. And the next year, like we continue high, like 50, 60 people a month. It was a really, really intensive growth organizationally. I was offered to be a VP HR and lead the HR function with the company. And I remember like saying, Oren, the CEO and the co-founder, this is absolutely irresponsible decision. Like how I can lead something I have no experience in, and we need to build processes and methodologies and establish compensation process and mutual reflection. And there's so many different things that we need to do that I felt very uncomfortable. And I think it's even more than uncomfortable. I felt not competent to do this job. So I found I work with. Actually, there were like two people, Rotem Katsir and Dan, the other one that also helped me to understand and build the HR organization at the beginning and see how we build the processes that are relevant for us, relevant for AppsFlyer. And Oren always told me, as a good mentor and as a CEO of the company, that you don't need to have an experience in doing HR. You need to understand the people. You need to understand what people need in order to grow, feel empowered, engaged, motivated. What is the culture that we are building in the company? And build a process that's relevant for us. At the end of the day, there's a best practice for many methodologies we have in the organizational work, but we need to build what is suitable for the specific company, because there's like mornings, they're not the same companies are not the same. So I found these advisors and I started building side by side what is the right process for us, how we establish the engagement survey, what are the things that we want to learn. And I just hire people that are smarter than me. I think this is the secret sauce. Find people that are more knowledgeable, more experienced, that smarter than you, that you can learn and grow.
Wonderful. So there are several things that I want to highlight here. First of all, you said, okay, I'm going to do it. And then you ask for help. And you know, there is no shame in asking for help. And you hire advisors, perfect. Like you find support.
I think it's important to ask questions, even if you feel that they are stupid questions. There is no stupid question, but we might feel uncomfortable being in the leadership position, asking questions that other people might assume that you should know the answers. But to be vulnerable and open about the thing that you don't know opens an opportunity to learn and to become better. And this is something that I see not many women, especially in executive position, feel comfortable about. asking these questions and also understanding that there's are things that we might not know.
Definitely. And I think that, you never know everything. And asking for help is not a weakness. Actually, I think it's a strength to ask for help. And the other thing I wanted to emphasize that you mentioned, you hired people, you looked for people that are smarter than you. And I think that takes a lot of courage, right? Because a lot of leaders feel intimidated by hiring people that, in some aspects, right? I mean, maybe are smarter than them or more experienced than them. But by doing so, you can actually develop the company and the organization you're at. So kudos to you. And another question I want to ask you. So you started an AppsFlyer, like one of the founding team members, right?
Right.
And you moved quite a bit. How did you know it was the right time for you to move to a different function or to a different role?
It's not that I knew when is the right time to move. It was like when is the right time for me to add more value, and what are the other things that we need to do as organization? What are the other things that we are missing? So being open and seeking these opportunities allowed me to grow professionally and to develop my knowledge, my skills, my leadership. So when we started AppsFlyer, I was in my previous job, I led a media buying in an advertising company. So I knew how the process between publishers that use advertisement and buy media works. So when Oren and Reshef established AppsFlyer and I joined them at the beginning as an advisor for the digital advertising, I knew exactly what is the problem that we're going to solve. So between the founding team, me, Oren, and Reshef, there was a clear alignment who does what. Okay, Reshef building the technology, the platform, Lisa building the first value proposition for the customers, how we build the product and what's the value. First of all, what is the value we bring to our clients and why we need to solve this program. And Oren working on investment, endless demo days and presentation with investors to raise the capital. So my first role was realization of the value in how we build the solution, how we define the product. So very, very early stages. And I just spoke about this with some startup entrepreneur a few days ago, that the demo of the product should know everyone until you grow to, I don't know, 40, 50 people. At the beginning, it's not enough for people to understand the product. They need to understand the customer. Because when you do a demo of the product to a customer, you understand how customers think about your product, what they use, what questions they have, how they experience your product. And at the beginning, when we were hiring people to developers, sales, customer success, finance operation, everyone should understand the product and do at least 1, 2, 3 demos with the clients. Maybe not alone, maybe shadowing someone, but to understand how customers think about our product. This is how you build this loyalty and connection and engagement of your small team at the beginning of your startup journey. Because as a startup, you do many pivots on the go. You build something, customers love it. You do something else, you break what you had before. You need to shift again. So there's a lot of experiments in the beginning, and your team needs to be very engaged and connected to your product and to your customers to be with you, because there's a lot of opportunities for them to work to many other companies out there. And there may be some golden cages that might seem very attractive for them. But in order to preserve this startup energy, all hands on deck, you need to have a very strong culture of we are building a value for the customer. So speaking about culture, we have 18 beliefs. AppsFlyer has 18 beliefs. What we believe in? We believe in complaining is not a strategy. We believe in all in. We believe in 1% done. There's like a long list, okay? You cannot remember by heart all of the 18 beliefs, but there's a list that's available on the company knowledge site and everybody can access it. But there are 2 very simple rules for decision-making framework. And rule number 1, is it good for our customers? As a customer-obsessed company, we bring value to our customers. Rather you finance or sales, you need to understand that the work that you do brings value for your internal customers, company employees, external customers, partners, stakeholders. And the rule number 2, does it make you proud to be part of AppsFlyer? The decision that you made right now make you proud to be part of the organization you belong to, or less? So every time you need to make a decision, ask yourself the question, is it good for our customers? Does it make you proud? And this is something that we go with as a culture framework in the company.
Wow, I love it, because it builds also the connection, right, of people. And I was earlier when I arrived, I was in your beautiful kind of lunch area. So it's shown that really the company cares for the people and builds that connection, that strong connection. So when you think about that, that's beautiful.
Yeah. When we were designing these offices, and part of my responsibility was also operations, the global facility, we designed all offices that every entrance to the office will be a communal area. So every guest or employee comes to AppsFlyer offices, one of the 20 offices around the world, the first thing they will see is the communal area with a cafeteria where people gather together, they share ideas, they think creatively, and they can see each other. I think like this human effect, especially in AI era, where we know that AI agent brings so much value to our life, but they can also easily destroy. We just don't know what will happen before. The AI will destroy our life or make it better. Something will come first, but there's like two sides of a coin. This human connection and people coming together, they're so important, and we're so proud of this, the breakfast and lunches and the meals that people share together.
I agree. And also it made me feel very welcome when I come, and I see so many people and the beautiful kind of cafeteria, great coffee. So it makes me feel already like nice and warm and fuzzy feeling, like I reached home.
Amazing.
Another question. So if a woman listening to us today, if she feels restless today, she feels like you said, like the butterflies that you had, how would you help her distinguish between I need a new challenge or maybe I need to leave my job?
I think it's a question of value. Do you add value in your job? Do you do something that other people cannot do? Or you have strong team, strong successor, there's other people that, as a leader, you nurture other people. If you're in a leading position and you build a strong team, do you have a strong successor? A people that can do the job you do today and add more value. So if you see people like this on your team that can add more value, do a better job than you do today, so maybe you need to go in to add value in something else. Maybe you need to grow in a different direction. If you still feel that you add more value and there's more opportunities or challenges for you to do, then maybe it's not the right time to go.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. And another question I have for you, in executive rooms, right? You work with the CEO, you work with a lot of executives. Where have you felt the tension between being assertive and being labeled aggressive, especially, for women, right? This is something I hear a lot.
Yeah. I learned that assertiveness, it's about clarity and not force. You cannot force assertiveness, because when you force it, it becomes aggressive and it's go to emotional side. But when you being direct and prepared, when you're not over apologizing for your ideas or different opinion, this is when you come as assertive and not as aggressive. And it's a challenging line, because at the end of the day, many females face themselves in the room dominated by male, and you need to have a stronger voice to bring your opinion on the table. But strong voice doesn't mean to be loud. You don't have to be loud, but you need to be direct in the ideas that you want to deliver, and not overcomplicated with explanation and apologies and padding this with a lot of buffers. Just say what you have to say, deliver your point, and come prepared, because there's the decision needs to be made on the databases. So if you have a specific opinion or an idea, come prepared, be direct, not over apologize, and you don't have to be loud. Even if you speak very quietly but with the confidence, the room will listen to you.
I love it, and I completely agree with you. And I also gave a talk about this in a conference. Like, you don't have to be loud to lead. And I think many women, and including me, I felt at the beginning of my career that I need to mimic masculine behavior, right? I mean,
Yeah.
at least the men I saw around me, like to speak loud, to be assertive, to be, talking loud, and you don't have to.
It sounds perfect in theory, but when I think about my kids, it's very difficult for me to be assertive and not loud. You directly go to the authority that you have. And with kids, it's easy because they cannot confront you as your growing adult co-workers. So I need to remind myself more with my kids to be more professional. And I will use this word because kids cannot confront you. They listen to you because we're their parents. But with kids is the same. And Simon Sinek speaks a lot about parenting and leadership. They are very, very similar.
Yeah.
So with kids, it's just they live an example that doesn't matter how loud you are, they will not listen to you. But when you speak quietly and you're trying to be direct but not over explain the thing, they can follow. When you use a lot of words, they don't follow. They used to reels, they need to give it to me in a real format.
Yeah. Well, so for those who listen to us, practice on your kids, I guess. I guess that's
a good practice room.
Another question, what does healthy self-advocacy look like for you, especially, around scope, resources, and recognition? And think about the women listening to us. They want to advocate, but they don't want to brag. So how does it look like to you?
I think self-advocacy is explaining the impact, like bringing the impact. And look at the bragging, it's like seeking validation. You don't need validation for the things you do. But when you seek impact and you want to empower other people and you understand that the thing that you speak now about will inspire and bring more value and create this butterfly effect on other women, this is self-advocacy. When you look for someone to tell you, good job, you're doing great, this is bragging. Feel like it comes from inner feeling, because how we feel about ourselves, this is how the world sees us. If you feel that you need validation, maybe it's a confidence question and you need to understand, do you really need validation for what you do, or you want to generate more impact in things that you want to speak to the world about? If this is about impact and value and empowering other people, and the thing that you speak about will be relevant to other women, this is absolutely self-advocacy.
Yeah. What if you don't have the confidence? I mean, a lot of women really doubt themselves a lot. Any tips for how you can build your confidence?
Going to uncomfortable, like being comfortable in uncomfortable situation. I moved to Israel when I was 17. I left my family behind. I joined a Jewish agency program for a student, and I literally started a new life with no network, nor supporting family, friends, building everything from the beginning. It was tough. I haven't been the most confident person, but I saw something that I want to do better. I saw myself growing, and I saw other girlfriends growing with me in the college, university, workplaces. And I said, if I will not do it, and she will not do it, and there's a group of 10 girls that will not do it, who will do it? So being uncomfortable staying on the stage and being uncomfortable recording a podcast, at the end of the day, I'm thinking about, I'm bringing value to the world. I'm empowering more women. I did something that maybe not many women have even an opportunity to do. At the beginning, I told I feel grateful for walking on my feet in the morning. I feel grateful for the place that I reached. And many people don't have this opportunity to be in the position I am right now. So I have to bring myself to this uncomfortable place for interviewing, being visible, to empower and to bring more confidence to other women. And confidence, I don't think you learn with the confidence. You build it over time.
I love it. And I really connect to that. And I want to say to the women listening to us, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And I think speaking actually in podcasts and in conferences is really helping. And I can share that for me, it's very uncomfortable to speak on conferences, on stages, but I do that and I keep submitted call for proposals all the time for conferences because I do believe that putting yourself out there, standing on a stage, or it could be in a company, right? It could be within your company, like if you have all hands or something, just nominating yourself to speak helps you build the confidence, because after you do it, even though you're scared, oh, wow,
absolutely.
I did it.
And you also practice something that you know that you want to be better. You practice speaking in your not native language. You practice speaking about your professional achievements. You practice speaking about your life journey and inspire others to do things.
Wonderful. And Lisa, before we end our call today, what is like one tip you want to share with the women listening to us that want to grow their career, want to reach executive roles like you did? What's one tip you will share with them?
I think that my career grew the most when I stopped chasing the confidence and I start seeking impact. Not focusing on the things that I'm competent, not competent, I'm good, I'm not good enough. I am who I am. And there's the things that I believe I can bring value in the world. And I want to make this impact. So I'm focusing on the impact I can do. Of course, I have my day duties, and it might sound like something very inspiring, but you find these places where you can do this little bit and that little bit and this little bit over time to generate the greater picture for the impact that you want to create. Either this is for your community, for your family. It doesn't have to be big. You don't need to go and to run a political party, okay? You can start by small, by volunteering for a school committee, for volunteering at your workplace, to do a focus group for I don't know, a company event, or a change that you want to see in your workplace, or the change that you want to see in your community. And starting by initiating these new things and bringing this cycle of people around you to follow you in a specific cause for other people that feels relevant, you build this confidence over time and you bring impact.
Fantastic. So one step at a time, focus on impact and give back, right? I mean, I think giving back is a big one, both for your company and also for the community.
Absolutely. I think like the biggest gift that you can receive in your life is to give a gift.
Absolutely.
When you have this opportunity to share something with other people, this is the best gift you can get to yourself. And it doesn't have to be a physical gift. Like every one of us have something to share: knowledge, experience, advice, a good word. Like even sharing a good word with someone in the morning can make someone's day and change our life for better. So I believe that we are 1% done, and this is something that we all in AppsFlyer on 1% done. Every company presentation ends with this quote, because there's 99% of opportunities out there, and if we will be good listeners and pay attention to these opportunities, there's a lot of things to do.
Wonderful. Wow. Thank you so much for
Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Likewise, and I want to thank AppsFlyer for hosting us here and doing this crazy setup here. So thank you so much, AppsFlyer, and thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode with Lisa. I hope it was valuable for you, especially for those of you who are considering a career transition. And don't go just yet. If you resonated with this episode, please share it with any woman who is currently facing a career transition, or you think this episode is going to be valuable to her. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform and share it with any woman who needs to hear it. And before you go, next week, I'm speaking with Nesrine Kane. She is a former Google engineering leader and she turned a professor for computer science. And we're talking about something that I think will change how you lead. And it's called curiosity. We talk about curiosity in a different kind. In a kind of curiosity that challenges your ego, the kind of curiosity that builds trust, the kind of curiosity that transforms how you make decisions as a leader. And we talk about why women hesitate to ask questions and how curiosity can undermine you if you don't frame it right, and how asking better questions is actually one of the most powerful leadership skills you can develop. So for those of you who are maybe feel uncomfortable asking questions, maybe you think that it will make you look less competent, this episode is for you and will help you. So hit subscribe, share this podcast with any woman in tech you care about, and I'll see you next week. Bye.